Hi. Now, last week we lost a former president of Zambia, that is Edgar Lungu. He passed on in South Africa, and the cause of his death or illness is undisclosed. But we'll leave that to the family. Maybe one day we shall get to know about that. And those are my roots. However, let's talk about the problems that with this whole burial arrangement. His body was supposed to be flown in on Wednesday into Zambia, and the government had prepared what they would call a state funeral, which was supposed to even happen also like a vigil or something like that at the Lusaka State Lodge. And this is what they planned. They just wanted to send him off as a former president. However, there's been some kind of friction between government and the family of Lungu because look, first of all, in his will, it is believed that he said he does not want the president of Zambia now, Hichilema, to be anywhere near his body or even at his funeral. That's what the family says, because we all know that actually there has been a political friction between the two. Hichilema tried to stand about 5 times. He actually won the presidency in the 5th time. But Lungu, they believe that he served his term and it was done. His terms that were done. And what so happens is that when they fell out politically, I mean, there's always been friction between the two. However, Edgar was prevented from leaving the country. He was sick. That's what the family says, that when he fell sick, he wanted to leave the country to go and seek for more specialized treatment. He was stopped. You all know that he had gone to court. He was trying to seek for permission to be able to run again for presidency, but that was also bad. They allege that no one would allow him to go out until of recent, when his illness really took a toll on him. And that's when he was permitted to go to South Africa for treatment. But that the government denies. They say they never denied Lungu from leaving the country for anything like treatment. That's what they say. As a matter of fact, the foreign minister for Zambia, called Mulambo, had gone to South Africa to have a negotiation with the family and have a discussion about the burial arrangements for the former president, because it's upon the government to see that they send off their former head of state or chief in command in a way that is deserving for any president. But the family says that it is not true that they have refused the state to carry out these arrangements or burial arrangements. But it is true that the family has a will and they want to have a say on who presides over this burial of their person. So I think the problem is in agreeing who speaks, who presides over, and how the program is supposed to run. Because for them, they feel that they actually put all the logistics together to give their person, the ex-president Lungu, Edgar, a private burial rather than a state burial. They feel they have the capacity to do that, and everything has been put in arrangement. So it's the friction between the government and the family of Edgar. How that will go, we don't know. But let's see. As the days of mourning, I think, are done, because it's now probably past 7 days. So what happens after the 7 days? Does the government and the mourning now go back to reset factory, where everyone minds their business, so that this burial or the funeral goes on without the interference of governments, programs, and all these things? Let's see what happens next when the body is flown into Zambia. My name is Daro.